Caught wife cheating after 15 years. I'm male, aged 45, and have been married for 15 years to my wife, age 44. We have 2 kids, and I don't know how to really start this, so here we go. Me and my wife were childhood friends. Not like we were close because we really didn't notice each other much until high school, when mutual friends started dating, and we saw each other a lot more after that. We started as friends, and then I grew a pair of nuts to ask her out, and she said yes. A little confession, I had a crush on her before our friends started dating, but I kept it to myself. Anyway, we started dating the last 2 years of high school and planned to go to the same college. But after figuring out that her school didn't offer the same program, I had to head to another one. I should have seen a problem when the school I picked had her program, but she told me that it wasn't a place she could see herself at. We tried the long-distance thing for a while, but it really didn't work, so we called it quits during college. After a few years, I graduated from school, and we surprisingly bumped into each other during a visit back home. Conversations sparked up a passion of interest, so we stayed in contact, talking almost every day and reigniting each other's passion for each other. It wasn't long after that when she had moved into my apartment. It did seem pretty fast now that I think about it, but I can't lie. It just felt right at the moment. My career was going well, and she was just about to graduate for her degree, so everything seemed right. Now, during this time, she had a male friend that I called him, and he was extremely attractive. Like, this guy is a player, and I kind of didn't trust him. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't trust him at all, and I hated that my girl was his friend. We had many conversations about this, and she promised me, damn, near swore to God himself that she had no romantic feeling for this guy, and they were strictly friends, and that if I really trusted her, I wouldn't worry, and believe that I should trust her, and know that she wouldn't do anything to sabotage what we were building. Now let's fast forward. At this point, my work and home life is competing with each other. The kids need me, but I have this and that to do by the end of the week, and I'm not gonna lie. I made my mistake maybe leaning too hard on her or not telling her how much I appreciated her, but I always thought it was implied. So one day I come home from work, and as I walked in, I hear her laughing and giggling. As I head into the kitchen, I notice she was cleaning the dishes, and him was sitting at the island talking to her as I walked into the room. A slight quietness enters with me, almost like I was the guest in my own house, but they both quickly greeted me, not suspiciously, but enough to fill the silence. Now, me and him weren't friends, but we have had a conversation on my uncomfortable feeling about him and my wife, and it wasn't long or combative. It was short and simple. Looking back now, he probably got a good laugh at me. But after a few minutes, he left, and it was me and my wife. And now at this point, I don't know if she was already with him, or she was just mad at me for not helping out a lot. But when I went in to get close to her or show her some intimate touch, she rejected me with, "I'm tired. I had the kids all day." Or she would start a random argument about something that was so small. This has been happening for the last 6 months, until I just got to the point and asked, "Is there someone else?" And this is where hell broke loose. She called me every name in the book and even brought up some insecurities that I had, and if that wasn't a sign, she didn't talk to me for about a week after that. At this point, I knew there was something going on, so I knew I had to figure it out. So I booked her a spa day on my day off and made sure she was completely pampered, and while she left the house, me and an electrician buddy placed small cameras around the house. Now, before you say it, I wouldn't have done that. I would have left, and you're right, but I was praying that I was going too far. I was hoping that I'd record for a month or 3 and see that I didn't get anything, and then know that I'm a dumbass with a great woman who loves me. Anyway, she came home smiling and even gave me some attention. I thought that maybe the spa day was all she needed, Some time to wind down. It was almost like back in the day while it lasted. So after 2 months of recording, I didn't find anything. I was so happy feeling like a dumbass for putting these cameras in my house, so I stopped watching the cameras for a while. They were just there, became out of sight and out of mind. Until one day, I get a notification on my phone telling me that something in the house was ajar. So I checked the cameras to see if one of the kids had broke something. As I'm flicking through the camera, I stop on my front door, noticing a black pair of shoes next to another pair. It didn't look like any of my shoes, so something in me made me check the bedroom camera. As I look at that camera, there was no one in there, and the bed was still made. For some odd reason, I just kept flicking through the camera and then caught my wife coming out of the laundry room with him behind her. She fixed her clothing, and he was buckling his pants. My heart shattered as I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Everything inside of me wanted to go home and end both of them. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought about my kids and how losing both parents wouldn't benefit them, so I shut everything off in my office and cried. I can't say how long, but long enough where my eyes felt like they were swollen. After that, I knew what I had to do, so as I'm heading home, I'm trying to compose myself for this argument that I knew was coming. I called a friend of the family and asked if the kids could stay over for a while. I arrived home and my wife was cooking. I smelled that food like a prisoner's last meal. I sat down in silence and looked at her. I pulled out my phone and showed her the video of her and him coming out of the laundry room and said, "Why?" At first, she tried to lie even with video evidence, but after pursuing it, she finally broke and told me the truth, that her and him has been sleeping together the last 3 years. She could be pregnant with his child. She said sorry that I had to find out like this, but since it was all out, she wants a divorce. It hit me hard because I came from a broken family and never wanted my kids to feel the struggle of a separated family. But after hearing that, I got up and went upstairs feeling defeated. I've worked my ass off and did all I could to place this family on a pedestal. It felt like someone just kicked it from under me. I wanted to harm myself so bad. Thankfully, the comfort of having my daughter tell me she loved me helped. What would you do?